This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good morning, good evening. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Let us join. Okay, so hi everyone. So welcome to day 3 of the session. So before we start, did any of you guys get to install and run MySQL server, MS SQL server, and import the data into Power BI? So maybe if someone tried and faced some issues, uh, we can fix it here. Okay, so maybe let's start. And meanwhile, I think there are some more people joining. We'll start and let's continue on the way. So today we'll be looking into some cool topics like connecting to web server, and we'll be looking into some data profiling tools of, let's say, how to look into and read the uh, let's say get an idea of the data that we are importing. So for example, the columns that we are importing, how it looks, and what are the different values in the column, and how we can profile the column. There are some data profiling tools. We'll be looking into those. Then we'll also be looking into some common table tools that while we import, we can do some basic transformations before loading it into Power BI. So we'll be looking into some basic table tools, and yeah, some text tools and numerical tools also we'll be seeing today. Okay. So yesterday we tried to connect to a database. Okay. So today we'll be looking into let's try to connect to web server. So as the name suggests, connecting to web server is a interesting feature, right? So what does it mean to connect to a web server? Let's try to understand that. So it's a simple idea basically. I hope you can see my screen. Anyone? Can you confirm, someone?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. Thank you, Naveen. So so connecting to web server is as simple as, let's say, getting the data available on a website into Power BI. So from the statement that I have made, what do you think the data would be on that website? What kind of data would it be? Can anyone suggest? it will be a table kind of a structure, right? So basically we generally in Power BI, whatever we import should be an RDBMS kind of a data. Basically, it should be a relational data, right? So whatever we are going to connect will or should have a data structure like of a table. Okay, so here we will try to connect to one data specifically. So as I mentioned yesterday in the day two, we had connected three other tables related to product from the DB SQL server. So quickly before I start, did anyone face some issue in, hello, let's say connecting to database, importing the data into Power BI anywhere? Whoever were there yesterday, did you feel some issue somewhere? Anyone? So everyone were able to let's say run through my MS SQL server and get the database imported into Power BI. These three tables, what we are seeing.
Siddharth, no, actually, install MSC SQL, but after the class, I'll just want to make sure whether the installation is correct or not. Then I'll install Power BI. So,
Okay, okay. No problem, no problem. Okay, then I think meanwhile, I think it will be better if you could install Power BI by the end of the class today
yeah.
so that we can discuss. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, I hope let's say this is the stop that I'm expecting you guys to have today. Okay, so that we can proceed to the next session. Okay, so the next web server connector, we will not be using it for this dashboard building. This is just for showing you how to connect the web server database. Okay, a web server connector. Okay, how to use it. So in this get data, we have the web option here, as you can see in the other options over here. Okay, so the web connector is basically interesting. When I just connect, we will be seeing the options which we have to give. So as you can see, it only asks for one field, one field that it wants. It wants the URL. Okay, that's the only thing it wants. So basically, I have a URL here today. So we will be looking into, let's see, into some simple Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a simple page that will have many tables inside that, right? I just want to search there. I have a list of asset management. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so there is some fairly good table over here. So I have 20 data points here with the rank, government company. I hope you can see the screen, right? The website that I have opened. Okay. So there are some country and asset under management and all those things in billion US dollars. So we'll see how to import this. So I'll basically, it's simple. I just copy this URL, put it into our Power BI, the URL field that we are looking into. Actually some advanced options also, but we did not look into it. It's very simple. Some advanced features help in, let's say, getting data from let's say multiple web sources, but in this case basic is sufficient for me. So I'll just put it here. So I put the website address. Okay, just click on OK. So now basically power, but this keep in mind, to for this to run as let's say as logic suggests, it requires internet connection. Otherwise it will not be able to get this, fetch this data. Okay, so if I click on this HTML table, so basically it has taken all the table structures basically inside that web page. Okay, so whatever tabular structure you can see, it has taken it somewhere or the other. Okay, so the first table we found is a very good candidate. This is what we wanted, right, from this connector. Okay, and we are going to import it. So basically I'll just click on it, just transform data, that's it. So as I mentioned, we'll not be using this data anywhere. I just wanted to show you that we can import web server connections into Power BI. So can quickly someone, let's say, give me a use case of this scenario? Can someone give me an, let's say, an important case where I can use this kind of a connection? What kind of data do you think web connectors
Live
use?
data, right? Live data which is available online.
Yes, yes, exactly. Good. So basically, such data connections where you require data that is constantly changing and it is available readily on some website. You can use such connectors. Maybe
Like
maybe something.
currency rate also, right? Usually we
Yeah,
use.
exactly, exactly. So basically, we'll have some stock market values or some weather changes. Like for example, we have some Google Map features where we get the Google data into Power BI. So in such cases, you can use this web connector, which will be handy in some simple scenarios which you might require. You might think it is not it is very trivial, but it will help you in some very, let's say, layman scenarios where you have to get some simple data, but you have to get it from, you have to make that data. But then web connector in such scenarios will help you
So
do so.
Siddharth, so data will get refreshed automatically, or we have to schedule some job
So
to
whenever
execute?
you refresh the report, right, you will see the latest data uh, in
Okay.
this particular data, in this particular table. In all the live sources, whatever you connect, whenever you refresh the dashboard that you are seeing, you will have the latest data.
Because I have seen the reports where the vendors, for example, in US, the vendors are from China or somewhere. So and the companies have to pay them, right, based on the POs, purchase orders. So today the rate is different, tomorrow it is different. When they pay, so then all the transaction recorded, and there will be new report which will do the comparison, what was the before, after, and so those kind of reports. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Such, for example, such, let's say, measures we can create using DAX, where, for example, there is some value that we have to compare today's value with yesterday. Like such scenarios, we can create a past, let's say, for example, in this case, I'll say some sale that has happened, and I want the revenue for the past month and this month. Okay, so I will have a measure that calculates the past month revenue and a present month revenue, and let's say, for example, I can calculate the growth I need with the help of that. Such things we can
So
do using DAX. Yeah,
yeah, Sita, sorry, one important question.
yeah,
So, for example, in Snowflake or any other data warehouse, so we are doing, you must be knowing, right? Slowly changing dimension. In
yeah.
that, we save the historical data as well as current data based on the from date and to date, right? When the so do we so right now in Snowflake we are doing it, but in Power BI, how can we get the now the data is changing, how can we store the historical data? Do we need, now you are saying there are functions we can use it, but the history data, where it is saved, is it
No, 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 no.
saved?
What I mentioned, the DAX measure, for example, what I mentioned is for calculating the data which is already there. For example, I have data from January, February, March, April. I want to compare February with January. I can do that
Okay,
with, that is what I was suggesting. But
okay,
if you
fine.
want to store historical data, you can always import multiple. Let's say, for example, in this case, we'll be importing sales data of 2022, 2023, 2021, 2020 separately. So this will be always there in my Power BI storage, import storage.
Okay, so
That will not,
maybe
that will not
next
change.
session, later session, we will have questions. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
continue. Yeah.
So, for example, in that scenario, there is a case that we are going to deal with where the sales data will be put into a folder. Okay, and that folder will directly pick up the data which is available inside those directly pick up the data in those files inside that folder. Get an idea what I'm
Yeah.
trying? Such things, no, basically that folder you can always keep in handy, right? You can maintain that folder in some FTP server or anywhere that you feel that data will go nowhere, right? Can you picture it?
Yeah, but right now I don't want to think much about it. Yeah, maybe later when we start doing it. Yeah.
Okay, you will understand that. Okay, that's fine, no problem, perfectly fine. So basically my point was like you can basically store data, historical data inside Power BI, but problem is it is not highly recommended to store data in Power BI because it basically affects the speed of the queries that we execute for the visualization. Okay, so generally most probably there is a, let's say, a sweet spot between storing data and getting the real-time data. Okay, so based on that we connect and get the data, and there is some performance optimization tools also. We'll be seeing that at the end of this let's say Power BI section of the course. Okay, yeah, so coming back, we can connect such web connectors over here. You can use it, you can always play around, get some let's say make some basic transformations with this data and other things, and it will always keep on changing based on the website refresh. Okay, so that was one thing that I wanted to cover today. I hope there is no doubts in this. It's a very simple procedure. You can just click on new source, web connector, click on it, give in the address that you want to get it from. Sorry, I think I connected to something else. So web connector, connect, give the web address, click on OK, click on the table that you want, and just import that into Power BI. It's as simple as that. So any doubts with this? Anyone? You can hear a lot of silence. Any doubts, anyone? Or is it okay? We can proceed.
Siddharth, when we import this web address, so it creates a sort of a database inside the Power BI.
Yes, exactly. Basically, in this case, no, web connector, basically, you can directly import the server. Basically, that website is what you are importing. That website data, when changes, the data will also change in your report.
Okay, but yesterday we imported the database, so
Hmm.
that doesn't work in real time.
That
Or
that you are importing directly. In this case, for example, these are two separate scenarios.
right,
Last day, what we connected was connecting to a database, right?
right.
So we imported that data inside that database table, those three database tables to be specific, and imported that data into Power BI. I'll just show you one thing quickly. So if I go here, product lookup is what we had seen, right? Yesterday, product lookup, product categories lookup, product subcategory lookup. Three tables we had imported yesterday.
Yes.
So I'll show you just one thing, just for a sake of curiosity. This is the server that we are running, right, for database. So I'll just quickly stop this and see what happens to our report. So I have shared my host screen, right? You can see the SQL server,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So I just stopped it now. There is no database that is running. Okay. Now I'll come here. So that these are the three tables that I'm looking into. I'll just click on this refresh. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Before it happens, I'll give some extra points. basically it will throw an exception. It will throw an error. Can you see it now?
Yes.
So basically, till I refreshed, that data was here, right?
Correct.
You see? For example, the product lookup, the data is always here. Now, even if I close this, the data is still there. But the problem is when I refresh the data, I want to get the latest data. That time it will always get from the source, that source file. If that is true in the case of let's say um flat files also. For example, if I want to refresh the data which I got, let's say in the case of territory lookup, for example, I got it from a flat file. Remember on the first class,
Yes.
right? In this case also, if I refresh the data, it will refresh from the file that is present in that directory which I have mentioned. For example, see in this code here, when I import, see the source step has been added, right? So if you see, this is the location of my file, right? For example, I want to refresh this data, okay, with some other file. So what will I do? I'll just replace the name of that file with this name, okay, whatever name, and put it in the same path. That's it. Whatever file, whatever table is there in that file, it will come here. That's it. Are you able to visualize now?
Yeah, just a small confusion. You stopped the database which we
Hmm.
imported yesterday,
Yeah.
but the web data also, is throwing an error. But we put a web address there. Are they related to each other?
No,
The
no, no, no.
database?
Web is still working. This is the web connector that we have used, right? For
Okay.
example, if I refresh this will always get from the web. So there is no problem with that. These are all
Okay.
individually dependent on the source data. So this doesn't throw error.
Okay.
Now
So
these
product
three will
lookup
throw error.
throw the error.
Yeah, these three will throw the error now because this is not available. The data source is not available.
Yeah.
So if
Got
I
it.
quickly switch it on, okay, so now it's running. And now if I refresh, yeah, so now we have the data. So now this is the latest data which I have uploaded in the SQL Server. If I, for example, I have changed something or some values have changed in the table, that this table, okay, product lookup table, that will be visible here. So that is why I do that, this refresh for. Okay,
Yeah.
I hope this is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, so moving on. So we have seen how to connect from a web server. It was, I think, understood by everyone, I hope. So next is, we have some common table tools that we'll be looking into now. Okay, some basic removing or keeping some rows or something, some basic sort. Okay, so let's look into this territory lookup. I think yeah, one thing before doing this, I just want you to everyone who has Power BI installed, I will just quickly disable this table because it is not necessary. So I'll just delete this from the model. Okay, so this is the table that we imported from the web. So this is not necessary. I just wanted to show you this. Okay, this is not necessary for our dashboard. So I'm just removing it. Okay, yeah. So now we have the model back, right? Our four tables. Now, before I proceed to the next topic, this is an important step. So whoever has Power BI installed, I want you to do these uh, two steps. I will say three steps, okay, which are highly important. Okay, only then will you see what I show you. For example, whatever I show you, right, you should be able to see the same thing. There are some few configuration settings that we need to do in Power BI. Some basic configurations, very simple. I'll just quickly run you through that. It will take hardly 2 minutes. So all of you who have installed Power BI, just follow it through. So just go to the file, click on the options here. Options. Okay, so you'll have the options panel open. Can everyone see the options panel? Can someone confirm? You can see the options panel?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
yes, yes. I see it here.
Yes. So in this, you have to update a few important parameters that will affect the report that you see. It may change from what I see. So I'll just normalize it for everyone. Okay, so that's what the objective of this is. So there are some global settings over here. There are some current file settings. So as the name suggests, basically this global setting is global for Power BI. So it will change the Power BI setting. Current file will change the settings of the current file which you are working with. So basically, both options, maybe there are some similar options here also. Say data load, data load. So, but this will affect only the current file that you're working with. So in global, there are some preview features over here. Okay, so click on that. You must have all of these checkboxes checked. So basically, there is nothing problematic with this checking all of these boxes. These are like features that you see in the Power BI dashboard from the, let's say, modeling view, reporting view, and table view. All the three views. There are some view options that have been disabled. Okay, so I want all of you to enable all of these options. Okay, that is the first step, first and important step. Second step, the global setting is done in this one. So global setting, only the preview features you have to edit. Coming to the next, in the current file, there is a data load option. Okay, in the data load option, I want you to update three values. Okay, so the first one is update or delete relationships when refreshing data, right? I want you to deselect. It should be deselected. First point. Second point, auto detect new relationships after data load should be deselected. Second point. And the last one is time intelligence, auto detect new relationships should be basically auto date time. Auto date time should be deselected. These 3 points you should change in the data load section. Okay, so update delete relationship when refreshing data, auto detect new relationship when after data is loaded, and auto date time. So what this does is basically, as the name suggests, the update and delete relationship it basically, when you refresh data, if something is not used, it will update and delete directly. So that's something we don't want, right? We'll be using some data, but we might not be using some data, but still we might require it in the backend of Power BI. But this automatically will delete the data if it's not required. So such things will happen. So uncheck it. Auto detect new relationship. This is actually sometimes useful. I will not say completely ignore it, but the problem here is, for example, if you are completely familiar with what you are going to build, the relationships of the tables of what you're going to build, I think this will become a nuisance because sometimes it creates relationships that you don't want. You will not be able to figure out why some visualization is happening like this or something. So such things will happen. So to avoid such things, you might just avoid this option also. Okay. And time intelligence, as the name suggests, auto date time, automatically create hidden date time table for each of the field. For example, it will create a table for each field in the model that has date or date time data type. For example, it will try to create a date table. But in this case, we are going to import our own date table. So in this case, we need not do that step. Okay. So these three options I want to uncheck. And last one is in the regional settings. I want you to change this English India to English United States. So why this we are doing is for the data that we are dealing with, right? AdventureWorks file that we are dealing with uses the settings of the data types, to be clear, the data types of the United States, let's say, style. So for example, the currencies are in dollar, the date time values are in MMYYDD. So sorry, MMDDYYY. So that format. So such things will automatically get detected when you select this option. Okay. So these are the options basically. So the first option is to basically go to the preview features, check all these boxes. The second option is to come to the data load in current file, uncheck these three boxes: update data, auto detect new relationship, and auto date time. The last one, for regional settings, we have to make it to United States. Okay, so these settings everyone needs to update.
Sorry, could you please
Yes.
tell how do you open this options box?
Yeah, basically just go to the file, click on file,
Yeah.
options and settings, options, and do all of these things. Below them.
Okay, fine.
Fine. So I'll just quickly restart this Power BI to get these settings effective. Okay. So I'll open the AdventureWorks dashboard that you're working with. Yeah. So that wraps up the basic configuration settings that you have to do. That's it. Simple, some 5 steps, I think, totally. Just make sure that you do this. Okay. It will be helpful when you go through. Sometimes you might think why this is happening. I'm doing the same thing that this person is doing, but I don't know why this is happening. So this might maybe sometimes be the reason. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the next topic, so we'll be looking into something called basic common table tools that we are going to see. Okay. So some basic table tools include, so what are the basic let's say functionalities that you require? Some, let's say, sorting data, data type change, right? Some first row header should be promoted as header, right? So such basic things are always there, right? So I'll just click on this transform data. So the first part of this course mostly will happen in the Power Query editor. Okay, so all of these basic transformations and all will happen in the Power Query editor. Okay, so for example, if I look into the Power product categories lookup, we have to check whether the data types are correct. So in this case, we are using a decimal number, but I think a whole number would be better because this is a key number, right? I can click on this, just click on this number. That will show you the data type over here. All of these, just click on the whole number. So now, if you can see, the value has changed. The symbol icon for the data type has changed. So now this is a whole number value. Okay, and the data type for category name looks fine. It's anyway going to be a text value, string. Okay, that's good. So when I did this, if you see, there is an option that has appeared here. This wasn't there previously, right? So if I click on it and see this, so this is an M code that Power BI created by itself to change the type of what I did. So basically, product category key, I have changed it to whole number. So it has done by itself. I need not do it. Or let's say specifically, I would have done the same thing by just pasting it here, but I'm not going to do it because M code, we are not touching it here. We are just looking into the out. Let's say how to do it through the front end visuals. Okay. So if I want to change it, see, I can just click on this cross. If you see, it has changed back, and again, I'll just click it. I want it to be a whole number. I'll click on the whole number. It has added a new step. So the steps are really useful. Sometimes you can there are some features that you can change. You'll be seeing this in detail because we'll be using it to change some steps that happened previously and some such things when you come to other tables. Okay, so this is some basic transformation, and there is some sort and other things also. So let's say there is some product subcategory key over here, or I can just click on product key. There's an option to sort. So all of these options uh, are appear on this header. So I'll just quickly talk about this header so that you use it. It's a little bit useful. So two major options that you find here are transform and add column, right? So the transform and add column, why I'm trying to, let's say, focus on is here. Um, both of these will have similar features inside this. Okay, so for example, there are some text column, number column, date and type fields. So if you come to add column, you'll have again some date and time fields, some font number values, some text values, and all those things. So if you see, what is the difference as the name suggests? What do you think? What will happen if I use the value from, let's say, for example, some standard add here and transform? I have the same option here, add. So what is the difference that will happen? Can somebody quickly say? No, I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So basically the same options are available in transform and add column. So what will happen if I use the column, the value from transform, and what will happen if I use the value from the function from add column? And someone said, guess.
Transform will do operations on existing data, and if you use add column, it will create another column,
Exactly.
new
Good.
column.
Thank you. Okay. So basically it's simple. I have the value that arises that is already available in this column, and I want to do some changes to this column. I use the option from the transform, right? If I want to add a new column based on this column, I can use the options from the add column. It's as simple as that. Why I'm focusing on this point is in some part of this dashboard creation, or in the future also when you're using Power BI, you will come across this problem where you use the same tool from the opposite uh, segment of the tool. Okay, so you might want to create a new column, but you will change the transform the data that is already existing. It will happen, I'm sure of it. So please be careful whenever you create a new column or you want to change the existing column. Make sure that you're using the correct tool from the correct menu, right? Okay, so before moving on to the next topic, for the next topic to happen, we will look into we will import some of the other data that are pending. Okay, and we'll look into an important feature called data profiling. Okay, it's very important, and it will be, let's say, very useful for you when you import data. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect to our customer lookup table. Okay, so it's as simple, just go to home. From here itself you can import. Actually there are multiple options, as I mentioned before also. Okay, I'll just save it, close and apply. There are multiple options to get data. Obviously I have mentioned it, I think 2-3 times. So I'll just quickly show you what are the different ways. So get data is here. There are some common options here also. Excel, SQL Server, all are already there. There are some recent sources also. And if you come down to the modeling tab, here also the same options are available. You can click on write, I think, in this model view. transform data. In the transform data, you will have the Power Query editor. Power Query editor, there are multiple options to get data. So data fetching, because Power BI is, let's say, the let's say manager of data, right? So it requires multiple places to get data. So here also we have the option to get new data source. So I'll click on this new source over here. It will again open that same. So wherever you click, it will open this dialog box. Okay. So I'll click on the CSV file that we have. I'll click on it, connect. So let's go to our data source. So raw data. Let's connect our customer lookup table. Okay. The customer lookup table, let's see how it looks. And we'll learn some basic important transformations on this table. Okay. So as you can see, there are some customer key, some prefix, first name, last name, birth date, marital status, gender, email address, annual income, such basic information about the customer. So as you can see, this data type detection, as I mentioned, is directly done by based on the first 200 rows. Okay, so you can change it to base it on the entire data set. You can change the delimiter. Okay, based on, for example, our file is a CSV file, so it's a by default taking it as a comma, as we had selected it to be a CSV data source, right? We are importing. So this is a basic preview of the data. We will try to look into it. So I'll click on OK. So there you have it. We have the customer table loaded. So let's do some basic transformations that we always do. So I just click on close. Delete this adventure works because it's redundant. It's understood. Now, to understand why we need data profiling, let's say data profiling is important because you cannot see the whole data in your, you cannot keep scrolling, right? It's for example, in this case, I think there is only how many? I think there are some good number of data. So in this set, even if there are 1,000 data, I can just maybe scroll it. But let's think of a scenario where you have 10,000 data or 1 million data rows. It will be a headache to understand the data. For example, if I want to understand the last name, or if I want to understand the birth date or marital status, in this case, married and single are the only data points. I want to check if there are some illegal characters in this. How can I do it? It will be a headache, right? What do you think? Understood what is the necessity of data profiling? So, in this case, we'll see how to look into the data and find some imperfections inside the dataset. Okay, so there are three important data profiling tools in Power BI. It is available in the Power Query editor itself. So the first important let's say data profiling tool is called column quality. So there are three. Column quality is there, and there is another called column distribution. So it shows you a distribution of the values of what values are there, and the column profile. These three values, these three profiling tools are there: column quality, column distribution, and column profile. So you will find these in the view menu over here. Click on the view menu, and in this data preview option, you will find column quality, column distribution, and column profile. So we'll see one by one what these do. Okay. So I'll click on the table that I want. Okay. So I'll click on a column that I need, and I'll click on this column quality. So as soon as I just click on it, you can see there are some problems in this data set. There are three options majorly. There is a valid, there is error, and there is empty. These are the three important let's say headaches of a data analyzer. Okay, so basically, if the data is valid, well and good, there is nothing to worry about it. If there is an error or an empty value, this needs to be tackled with, right? So in this case, there are some good values also available, but the problem is there is 99% of the data are problematic, right? So if I hover on it, you can see there are some options that it say 5 values or 5 rows inside this data are having an error. So basically that's less than 1%, but even that might create a lot of problems when you run the visualization. Okay, so Power BI itself suggests something, just remove the data, but I want to look into the data a little bit more, why that error is happening, right? So for that, I can hover on it, click on this 3 button, and there are multiple options over here where you can remove duplicates, remove empty, remove error, keep duplicates, all of these things are there, right? Now, there's one point that I want to add. Now here I have already done that, so I cannot directly show it. But anyway, in this data set, you can see all the errors and problems correctly. But if I select based on 1,000 rows, you will see that most of the things are fine. There is no problem at all, right? Do you see it? Only the field of prefix, that is Mr. and Mrs. have the problem. Otherwise, there is no problem at all. So, like, can someone say why this is happening? This is a simple explanation. I just want anyone to uh, guess it, so that I want to understand whether you have understood the point. Basically, in this data set, there is no much error, right? Only the prefix column has the error. Can you say why? Someone? Naveen, Karima, someone? Whoever is there?
Mr. or Mrs. is missing in the 25th row or maybe somewhere else as well.
Yeah. So, but why the other columns are not showing error? Because previously we saw this customer key also had some errors, right? Remember? And other columns also had errors. But here now only we are seeing the prefix having an error. What did I change now?
You just clicked on prefix.
No. I mean, previously you were able to see all the errors. No, did you see?
Yes.
I think you missed the step. So anyway, it's not a problem. Basically, whatever you are seeing now, this profile is done based on this quality analysis is done on the basis of the first 1,000 rows in the table. So by default, Power Query knows to take the first 1,000 data points so that it is not very heavy on the Power Query editor. Okay, so that is the option that I changed over here. So the column profiling based on the top 1,000 rows, I just change it to the column profiling based on the entire data set. Then things change. Now I'm able to see all the data errors that have appeared in the different columns. Able to understand now, everyone?
Yes, but these rows are less than 1,000, so shouldn't it be working on that?
No. These are greater than 1,000. These values, right? Whatever you see, this is saying that it's 999 plus rows. It is not
Okay.
showing how many rows it has. It has more than 1,000 rows. It has, I think, I'm not seeing the number of data points. Maybe let's just check on that. So the customer lookup. So the file is quite huge. Can you see? the number of data points. There are 18,154 records in this table. Okay, so we are taking, by this I am saying that Power BI, don't do this. Don't take the 1,000 values alone for profiling and quality. Use the whole data set, otherwise I'm going to be in a problematic situation. That is what I'm doing by this step. Okay, so make sure that you select this if necessary, but this is not always possible if you have, let's say, millions and billions of data points. Okay, so that's why Power BI by default takes the 1,000 values as the default, right? So if I, let's say, go ahead and see what is the error. Okay, so let's click on this remove empty. So it has removed the empty values, but let's be realistic. Okay, do you think all of the people in this set will have a prefix? Is it fine if you don't have a prefix?
It should be fine.
Yeah, it should be fine, right? Because there might be some people without prefix, they just have the first name and last name, so that should not be a problem, right? So realistically speaking, it's fine to have empty values here. So what I'll do, I'll come here, say I have the applied steps. So as I mentioned, it is useful to keep these applied steps close by. Okay, it will be useful to remove the step that I have changed. So I just remove it, and it is back to normal now. But customer key, I can see some empty values. Is that fine? That
No,
fine,
the
right?
custom not accessible here.
Yeah, so that is not fine. Customer key should not be empty. That is like, let's say, that shows the individual records inside the column. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll right click, remove empty. Let's see if, okay, I think it doesn't have empty values. I think maybe that's why it is just showing this error. Okay, but there are some error values. Let's see what are those errors. Okay, I'll just click on these keep errors. Okay, so this will basically keep only the error values in the database, in the data set. Okay, so let's see what the error values are. Let's click on keep errors, and now you see all of those problematic rows that are available in this column, in this table, right? Can you see it? There are some error values, there are some let's untrustworthy prefixes, there are some dates that are doesn't match at all, right? So all of these rows are junk. We can identify it through the data set by using that number, right? So I'll just go back, and now I will remove those errors that are available. Okay, with this option over here. So all of those values inside that error set is gone, right? Can you see? Now there are some empty values also. When you see, right? For example, keep if I keep on keep errors again, go back. If I right click, if I go to remove empty values, now that empty values that we saw, right, is also gone totally. Now if you see, there are no much problems. I think the prefix was the problem, because there are some empty values, but then realistically we identified that it's okay to have no prefix values. Okay, otherwise if you see, the data set looks fine, right? Let's see other rows, other columns, sorry, and looks fine. I think most of the things are in order, right? So this is the first important data profiling tool that we will be looking into, and it's called column quality. Fine. So any doubt in this column quality feature? Anyone? How to use it and how to get rid of problematic rows and columns, problematic rows to be specific. Is it clear, everyone? I hope it is
I
clear.
think once we do it practically, we will be more clear about it.
Yes, obviously, that is 100% sure. Whatever I show, you will not get the feel of the thing unless you do it. That is correct, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I just wanted you guys to move along with me. So
Yeah.
what I would suggest is for the next class, whoever joins, right? Um, be sure that whatever we have done till today is clear. So maybe in the next class we'll spend some time. Excuse me. We'll spend some time to set all these things that we have already done. If you have any doubts, we'll clear. Maybe we'll spend some 15 minutes for that. But it will be good if you could follow along with me. If you work along with me, that will be really good, as you mentioned. So the column quality is the first feature that you saw. Let's move on to the second feature called column distribution. So I'll just quickly uncheck this. I don't want this anymore for now. I'll go to the second feature called column distribution. So if I click on it, Power BI is doing some calculation. And as you can see, it is giving some numbers and some value distribution, right? If I hover on it, so customer key doesn't make a sense, right? So it shows that there are some distinct 18,148 distinct values, 18,148 unique values. So I previously had to open my CSV data set to see the number of data, right? But here in this case, data column distribution will help me do that. To know the number of distinct unique values available in the particular column. So in this particular column, let's say in the prefix, I can see 4 distinct values: Mr., Mrs. I think there should be a Miss and something else. Let's see what are those values. But those values will not be visible here. Okay, we'll see how to look those values next. Okay, and it shows that there are some 666 distinct value and 89 unique values. Okay, a quick question. This might be a little bit confusing to some people. What is the difference between 666 distinct values and 89 unique values? This question might come to some people, right? Because distinct 616 distinct 666 distinct value, 89 unique values, both mean almost the same thing, right? So what do you exactly mean 666 distinct values and 89 unique values? Can someone?
It's distinct and unique.
Yeah. Or is it trivial? You are able to understand what is the difference between distinct and unique?
I think distinct is the whole number of the rows,
Okay.
while the unique is the unique values these numbers, among these rows.
But then shouldn't that 89 be in the distinct? Why are they showing that separately? You're able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I'm
Unique
not
means
understanding. See, for example, department number one is finance, two is sales, right?
Hmm?
So and three is marketing something. So one, two, three, they are distinct, they are
Mhm.
unique. So
Okay. Exactly. This that
I'm
you're
not.
coming to that. Yeah.
So,
That's good.
if
That's good.
they,
Go on. Yeah.
so how
Yeah.
they should be same number, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So okay, you got that partially fine. You got that idea of that distinct and unique. So basically, I'll keep it here. Okay, I'll not move further ahead. I'll show you the last tool. In that you'll be able to answer some questions of what I asked now. Okay, you'll be able to answer that. Okay, so this shows such values. That is the most important part. The column distribution will show you distinct unique values, and the same tools are also available here, which you saw in column quality. Fine. So this is another good tool that you can use to see how many distinct and unique values are available in the data set, in the column. Okay. Coming to the last tool that we have, it is called column profile. Okay. This gives a little bit more insight to numeric fields, I would say. It'll give you an idea. I'll just click on it quickly. I think we have almost completed today's session. So this is a little bit different than what we saw earlier, right? So
So we
column,
can continue tomorrow, no, Siddharth?
yeah, this is done. I think this will not take much time. I'll finish it in 2-3 minutes. That's done. Okay, so that you can ask any questions tomorrow. Okay, this is just quick final roundup. So if I click on the column that I'm looking into, you can see there are multiple names. Okay, these names, what you see, right? Can you see there are some unique values available? These are all unique, and you can see there are some distinct and unique values. Okay, this is the same number of values that you saw in the column distribution, right? So distinct is basically the let's say, for example, in this set there are 18,000 rows, right? As you saw, in those 18,148 rows, there are distinct 666 first names. Okay, one, that is the first point. I'll put it aside. So in 18,148, there are 616 distinct values. So what are these 89 is that those 89 do not repeat at all, as the name suggests. Are you able to visualize that now? So these 666 keep on repeating. That's how the 18,148 minus 89 are formed. Are you able to understand? Guys, are you able to follow? I'll quickly round this up. I think I just want some yes or no so that it's clear. So basically, I'll repeat it again. So basically, the 18,148 rows we have.
You shall shortly hear an alarm being sounded to test service
Okay.
activity
So
of the
basically, the
IoT. All
18,148
employees
rows we
are
have.
requested to
Among
continue
them,
with exit feedback.
666 values keep on repeating in this 18,048, except the 89 values. These 89 first names are unique and they don't repeat at all. That is what it means. This column profile mostly is useful for, it will be more useful in the case of number fields. As you can see, annual income is a good number field candidate. So as you can see, it shows a profile of the people. Let's say there are these many people, 60,000, 3,700 3,072 people, customers who are in this annual income range. So such profiling and values you can get through column profile. So this is a very good important feature when it comes to getting data, getting importing data. You can see multiple real time how the data looks as an aggregation. You need not go into detail, just scrolling and finding what is the problem in the data. So you can use these tools. I think we can wrap up today. Um, yeah, let me know if you have any doubts. Maybe today, are there any doubts to clear? Maybe, or we want to take it for
So,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
just
Siddharth,
a quick question. Is the 89 number of the unique values, is it part of the 666?
No, that's what I mean. For example, that's what I
Okay,
was mentioning.
okay.
For
Yeah,
example,
yeah, I understand.
quickly show you.
Now I
Uh,
understand.
I'll take 2 more minutes. In this case, let's say, for example, I have 18,148 rows, right? Totally. That is first names.
Yes.
In that, 666
Are
first
distinct.
names will repeat.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and the last 89, I will say, for example, in this 18,148 minus 89,
Will repeat.
yes, so this will be the number of uh, repeating, let's say, names.
Yes.
So that will
Yeah.
be repeated using this 666 first names.
Yeah.
You're able to understand now?
Yeah. I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
can we can say the
Yeah.
the we can say the first names are
Yeah.
666 plus 89, right?
Exactly. Exactly. No,
Yeah.
not like that. Not like that. The 666 might repeat any number of times. That is there. Right. For
Yeah, I
example.
understand. Yeah, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Maybe I didn't explain it well, but I understand. Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. You can maybe look into some other simple columns and you can identify
Yeah.
it a little bit maybe easier. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So I think if there are no other questions, if you have some other questions also, we can maybe.
Yes, that
Yeah.
so can you see my? I just want to make sure my SQL installation is correct
Yeah,
so that
sure,
I
sure,
can install. Can I share my screen?
sure, sure. Others, I think if you are happy, you can just drop off. Okay. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll be
Colleagues
looking
are
into some other
requested
things.
to continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I stay? Because I missed yesterday lecture,
Oh,
so I
you
need
missed
to have
yesterday's
a
lecture?
look.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure, sure. You
Yeah.
can stay. Whoever wants to stay can stay. No problem. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
So Karima, you have access
May I
to.
have your attention?
Can
Yes,
you share? Let me share.
yes, yes. So I have made you presenter.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Can you see the folder? So these two things I installed, right here. Download
Uh,
it.
I can see your edge actually. I cannot see anything else.
I'm sharing the Explorer. No.
Can you reshare with the whole screen? I think. Yeah. I think anyway.
Which?
I'll just stop the recording quickly.
Mhm.